Sometimes I wake up on Saturdays and I just don't want to leave bed. Welcome to my room. If you haven't seen it already, here is my setup. I'm really excited about this new keyboard that I just got. It's the White Fox. I got it off Mass Drop. They didn't pay me to say that, but man, am I excited about this keyboard. I waited 7 months to get it. It's a 60% keyboard, so that's why you don't see the F keys and you don't see a numpad. And I can just basically stick it right up against my mouse pad. Really stoked about that. My favorite part about the keyboard is just how light the switches are. I used to use a bunch of different keyboards. I've used Cherry MX Blues, Browns, Reds, but this keyboard has Gatoron Clears, which are even lighter than the Cherry MX Reds. I mean, it takes virtually no effort for me to push the keys on this keyboard, and that's really nice for longer gaming sessions. I hate using Cherry MX Blues on longer gaming sessions because your fingers just seem to get really tired over time. Alright guys, let's talk about the Global Whitelist. So, I recorded this segment like 10 times because I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to say here. I'm really disappointed with the way the community handled the discussion. Last time I did a Global Whitelist thing, I did it behind closed doors. I did it without consulting anybody. Just got everyone together in a room, made a couple decisions about whitelists, and then rolled it out for the community to use. Last time, the community complained that they didn't get their chance to have any input, so this time I made a post on the forums on Team Fortress TV and said, hey guys, give me your thoughts on the whitelist. And what I got back was a bunch of people making personal attacks, just like random insults to other people for basically no reason at all. And I feel like the whitelist in general shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, I get that it's a big deal, but everyone seems to get so involved with like Valve and like what Valve cares about our community and what Valve has to do with anything. And it really doesn't matter what Valve has to do with it at all, because we've existed as a competitive community for many years without the help of Valve. I think what's more important here is that we find a game mode that we all enjoy playing, and that we're constantly working to revise that game mode over time to continue ensuring that it is fun to play. Look, I get it. Last time we unbanned a bunch of stuff, people didn't like that. You know, people had to endure these scrims with the atomizer and with the base jumper for a couple days, and there was so much rioting in the streets that we had to reban those weapons. That's not a big deal. Like, you know, you do it for a couple days, you realize that it sucks, and you go back to normal. But at least we're making progress as a community. That's what we're trying to do here, is that we're trying to get everyone on the same page. Everyone around the world needs to use the exact same competitive whitelist, and from there we move forward. So after this last season of gameplay, I realized that a lot of people are not happy with the Rescue Ranger. The Rescue Ranger is a weapon that really slows down the end of a 5 CP map, where the engineer sets up, that gun just takes forever to go down unless you have a demo man there. And if you have no demo man, you basically can't do the push. So it really slowed the game down too much. We're probably going to look to ban the Rescue Ranger for the following season. I think for a lot of the other weapons that people are talking about banning, like the Girardi, the Natasha, the Lock and Load, and the Cow Mangler, those come down to preference. I feel like if you have no intention of using the Girardi, you're just gonna try and ban it. And if you have no intention of using the Cow Mangler, you're just gonna try and ban it. I think we should look at weapons as whether or not they're OP and not, do I like playing against this thing? Maybe the Girardi's OP, but I definitely don't think the Cow Mangler is OP, so we should reevaluate from there. There's a bunch of weapons that I want to unban for next season. For example, the Doloco's bar was only banned because of an exploit, and that later got fixed by Valve back in December, so we no longer need to keep that weapon banned. The Quick Fix is a weapon that used to give you 25% bonus Uber charge building, but it has been nerfed down to 10% in July, so that's really not a big deal. The Fist of Steel, kind of annoying to play against, but again, I don't see that as a big deal because when the Heavy has the Fist of Steel out, he's basically not doing anything, so it really shouldn't impact anybody. And then for the Solemn Vow, a lot of people will take issue with it. You know, you're allowed to see the enemy health values, you're allowed to see the enemy Uber charge even. I just don't see it as being that game breaking. I don't think it's going to significantly impact the competitive scene, but I could be wrong. I think ultimately what we're going to try and do is get a bunch of competitive players in a room together, talk about what weapons we want to see banned, what weapons we want to see unbanned. We're going to stream it so that everyone knows. It's probably going to happen next weekend, so look out for that post on the forums to know when and where we're going to meet. Again, guys, my main message here to the community, one, don't worry that much about the whitelist. It's really not that big of a deal. Your life isn't going to end if certain weapons are banned or unbanned. So just chill out for a second and just take a deep breath and know that we all have the same best interests for the game at heart. So you don't need to attack each other. That just got blown so out of proportion. That's completely unnecessary. 2, I don't think that Valve really cares about the whitelist that the competitive scene uses. They're aware of it, they know that it exists, but that's not going to impact their game as a whole. So we really need to design the whitelist for ourselves. That said, I don't think you should go out of your way to ban things just because you don't like playing against them. We should ban things that are actually overpowered and not just slightly annoying. 3, we've made a lot of progress getting everyone to use the same whitelist around the world, and we need to make sure that that happens again next season at all costs. All right, so that's all I got to say in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.